There is one thing that successful engineering leaders must be able to do. And in this week's Engineering Management Lessons video, I have with me Luke Turko, Director of Geotechnical Services at Navarro Wright Consulting Engineers. And Luke is going to tell us what that one thing is, and then I'm going to come back on the end of this video and I'm going to give you 3 examples of why this is so important. So Luke, what must all successful engineering leaders must be able to do?
Adapt to change. Projects will change, clients will change, staff will change. That the one size fits all model is not going to work like in engineering management. So, you got to be fluid. You're going to have other engineers around you who have more experience or have done it different ways, bounce ideas off of people. When things work, go with them. When they don't work, pivot, try something different. So that's my advice.
Thank you, Luke, for sharing that with us. And to kind of take it to the next level here, I'm going to give you 3 examples of why it's so important to adapt to change and what being able to adapt can do for you and your company. So first of all, let's look at COVID, right? That's a perfect example. Before COVID, all engineering companies, if you asked leaders at any engineering company if they could go remote or even partially remote or have a lot of people work from home, the answer would be no. We can't do it. We have CAD drawings, we have specs, we have complex projects. There's no way that we can do this work from home. And then what happened? COVID happened. And like this, overnight, I would say 75% of engineering companies were almost fully remote. And not only were they fully remote, but most of the ones that I've spoken to are our clients, they had their most successful or profitable year ever. What does that tell you? That tells you that not only is it important for you to be able to adapt to stay alive, but by adapting and changing, you often will thrive because you will be turned on to new philosophies or strategies or concepts that you may have never found if you weren't forced to change. And that's really important. Second example, let's say that you were to design a project of some sort, and that project goes to construction or goes into manufacturing, and the materials that you specified are not available, right? Maybe because of the supply chain, they're just not available. So you need to change, right? You need to change that design. You need to find a new material. You need to find a new process. You need to find a new distributor potentially, right? It's going to force you to adapt and force you to change. And what is that going to do? It's going to give you new tools in your tool belt the next time around. So now you may be able to specify a different material, or you may be able to work with a different distributor because you had to. And that's important. It's also important that you're able to keep that project on schedule, right? So it's just going to force you to be more flexible. And that's why engineering is a challenging profession. And the last example that I'll give you is, let's say you're leading a team, an engineering team of some sort. You have a lot of projects, you have a lot of backlog, you have a lot of tight schedules. And one of your staff members comes up to you and says, "I'm sorry to let you know, but today is my last day here. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow." It happens. Now you as the leader have to adapt. And how are you going to do that? What plan B did you have? What other staff did you have? How flexible did you train your staff to be to pick up other things? Can you jump in and help out if you have to? That's why sometimes it's important not just to have a plan A and B, but also to have a plan C, D, and so on and so forth. You have to be able to adapt to change. So I hope you found this week's video helpful. I hope you can start to think of ways that you can become more adaptable and more flexible in your career and in life in general. And I hope you'll subscribe to our channel here. We put out videos like this on a weekly basis to help engineers become the best managers and leaders that they can be. I'll see you next week.